Hey wave makers, it's Moana, a teenage girl with a lot to say and a lot more to learn. This is Making Waves. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the first ever deep dive of Making Waves with Moana Adams. I'm so excited to introduce this new episode format. When I was planning for the podcast for 2025, I was thinking back to what you had said about the kind of episodes you liked. And I felt like more people were telling me that they loved solo episodes, but interviews and bringing other teens on is also really important to me and the growth of the podcast because I want to be able to want to give other teens the chance to share their stories and thoughts and opinions. So we're going to be doing some deep dive episodes where it's just you and me talking through something super specific, and then we'll also do interviews. But today we are diving into the 4 biggest lessons I learned in 2024. And we're going to start out with your comfort zone will kill you. I did a full episode on this last year, but I wanted to revisit it now that it's been the full year and talk about it. So I chose uncomfortable as my word of the year for 2024. My parents made us all choose a word, and that was mine. And originally when I said that that's what I wanted, they were like, that has a negative connotation. Like, maybe we should pick something different. And I was like, no, I'm choosing that because if you stay comfortable, you're not growing. And I knew that I wanted to grow as much as I could in 2024. And I think that I achieved that, like, I would say 75% of the time. When I was given the opportunity, I went out of my comfort zone, and 25% of the time I stayed where I was and didn't push myself. And so 2025, I definitely want to work on it more. But I was able to learn so much in that 75%. I competed in a pageant, had no clue what I was doing. Thinking back to the things I did on that stage, should be embarrassed, but I'm not because nobody cares. I mean, I did my best and I wasn't there to win, so I was there to make friends, which is going to lead me into my next thing. But I competed in a pageant. I had never done that, so that was brand new. I walked my first runway show, had never done that, had more guests on the podcast, which I was so nervous about because I didn't feel like I was a strong interviewer, and I look up to so many interviewers who are so amazing at their job, like Jimmy Fallon. Like, who doesn't laugh in a Jimmy Fallon interview, right? You know, there's just so many people who are such good interviewers that I was scared to interview people because I didn't want people to think that I was a bad interviewer. And so that was really uncomfortable for me to just go for it and have people on, and knowing that I'm going to get better the more interviews I do. And there were plenty of other things and times that I pushed myself, especially public speaking, talking in front of people. I did a live interview at my mom's office. I did a speaking thing with my dad. There are other times too that I'm not going to list, but I was able to realize that the times that the 25% that I didn't push myself, I regretted. I regretted it so much, and I'm trying to let it go, but there are so many times this year that I should have been like, Moana, it's time to be uncomfortable, and that's a good thing, rather than staying where I was. Because I would be even farther. I would be 25% better of 25% better Moana today if I had done those things, I think. And so just realizing that your comfort zone will kill you and confirming that for me was so big in 2024. And I'm pushing myself right now. We're doing video podcasts this year. Hello. I am sure there are plenty of people who listen to the podcast who don't even know what I look like if they're not on Instagram. I'm Moana, but like, this is new. I'm going to be having on even more people for the interviews every single week. I'm going to try and do an interview, which is going to be amazing to talk to so many cool teenagers and bring them on. I'm so excited. And I'm also graduating in 2025. So that's going to get interesting and uncomfortable, not doing school every day because I'm not going to college. It's going to be weird, and I'm going to have to push myself. So that was definitely my first big lesson for 2024. The second big lesson I learned in 2024 is that you will find passion and purpose in community in places that you would have never, ever thought you would. So there are a couple places that I found that this year. First of all, the pageant. I met so many incredible young women at that event, and that was my purpose for going. I wanted to go to the pageant and compete to meet other girls my age who had big goals and big ideas and wanted big things. And I met so many amazing girls there. I am friends with some of them still. A lot of them have come on the podcast, and I was able to find that community. And also, I wouldn't say that I have a passion for pageantry now, but I do have a passion for not judging a book by its cover. Because before I decided to do the pageant, I thought very stereotypical things about pageantry. I thought it was very objectifying, and I did not like it. But then I realized that pageantry really is a network of young, ambitious women who are using and looking for and building a megaphone to share their opinions and their thoughts and their ideas and their goals and teach people and educate people and help them. Because that's how I think of it, is when you win the crown, that gives you a megaphone. You get a broader audience, more people are listening to you, you have a chance to share your thoughts, your feelings, your causes that you support. And so that's really what it is a community of women, a network of women who are pushing towards that same thing. And then another place that I found that was F1. I kind of got into F1 like late 2023. I was kind of interested, but it just felt overwhelming to like really get into the sport. But I watched Drive to Survive, which if you're an F1 fan, you probably have your own opinion about the show. I love it. And I love it because it does such a good job breaking down and introducing the way racing works and the way the racing world is for people who literally have no clue what's happening. Because that was me. I didn't know anything about motorsport before watching Drive to Survive. I had just seen videos of F1 related things on my For You page, and I thought it was so interesting and so cool, and I wanted to get into it, but it was just too much. I didn't understand. And I didn't know anybody else who was in F1 or into F1. And then after I watched it, I realized that there's a full, huge fan base that I didn't know existed for F1. And I started an F1 group chat because no one in my personal life liked F1, watched F1, so I had nobody to talk to about this new obsession because it is an addiction. You can see if you're watching this video, you can see my Senna and his McLaren right there. But I built a group chat. I had posted a reel on Instagram about the Miami Grand Prix and how I was, that audio, it's, and I think her name is Iggy song, and it's like, no money, no family, 16 in the middle of Miami. So I posted that, but I was like, no money at home, 16 wishing I was in the middle of Miami at the race. And I got so many comments from girls my age being like, oh my gosh, same. And so I literally DM'd them and was like, hey, I'm starting an F1 group chat so we can like send videos to each other, talk about the races, all of those things. And they were like, absolutely, add me to the group chat. And that group chat has been going on for over 6 months now, and it is amazing. I love them all so much. I have found one of my best friends through that group chat, Violet, who has been on the podcast before. We talk literally every day. I love her, and I was just able to find a full community and a community full of passion in something that I never, last year, this time, I would have never expected to find. And so I think that's just really incredible that there are so many places that you haven't looked for doors that will open for you and will give you so much opportunity. Okay, the third lesson is that your mindset controls your life and you have the power to change it. I used to be very, very emotional. All young teens are, but I think I was particularly very emotional. A lot of the things that I thought and did were based on my emotions, and I'm working on that still. But realizing that I have the power to change, not necessarily change how I feel, but change the way that I react to those feelings. So if something happens and it's upsetting or disappointing or sad, I can choose to wallow and sit in self-pity, or I can choose to focus on what I can control and let go of the rest. And that's definitely a huge, huge, huge lesson that I learned this year, was just realizing that I have the power to change my life just by changing the way that I look at things and the way that I do things and I react to how I feel. Because no, you cannot control your emotions, but your emotions also don't control you. And so you have the power to be like, okay, yeah, I feel like crap. This is what I'm going to do to change that. Or I feel amazing, so let's keep that going. And, you know, of course, we all feed off of each other. So when you are choosing to do those things, the other people in your life are going to notice those things. And just focusing on those things that I can control and letting go of the rest has helped with this so much. Because I used to be so devastated by things that would not work out for me. And realizing that it's okay. Like, I'm alive. I'm still here. Like, girl, you're fine. It's not that deep. Just relax. And I think that's a reminder that we all need. It's really not that deep, guys. Like, I say that to myself 24/7. If I feel myself, like, stressing or getting really anxious or upset about something, I'm like, girl, is it really that deep? Like, is it really? Like, asking myself that has been such a huge game changer for me and changed the whole way I look at life. I am 100% a happier person because of it. And same thing, it goes for friendships, family, like literally every single aspect of my life has improved because I am letting go of the things I can't control. I can't control other people and their decisions. I can control mine though. And I can control how I want to react to things and the things that I want to choose to do. And I think that is just such a life-changing thing. And I could go on and on about this, but we're going to go on to our fourth lesson. And that is that only people who are insecure or jealous will judge you. A secure, confident person is not going to comment something nasty on your videos or photos. And a secure, confident person is not going to tell you that you're ugly or pull you down. They're going to hype you up. And I think that how you judge someone says everything about you and nothing about them, because that's just your perception of them. And anybody that judges you, that's their perception of you. And so something that I have done in 2024 that has just made me feel so much better is I think that a lot of us can get stuck in this, especially as teenagers on social media when we're posting. And we post something, you know, photos from whatever event we did, whatever. And we're expecting our friends to comment on it, hype us up, all those things. And I noticed probably like late 2023, I felt like I wasn't getting that support from people in my life. And so I felt like crap. And I was like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not pretty? Like, there's something wrong with me. And I realized, one, I'm expecting people to, like, that's such a selfish thing, is to expect people to be so focused on you that, you know, you're expecting those comments. And it's not really it wasn't really something for me that I was like, I'm pretty, tell me I'm pretty. It was more like, wait, why aren't you saying anything? Like, you normally say something, like, what is happening? And so I just let go of that. And I started hyping up everybody else, especially when I was going into the pageant. I would meet connect with these girls on Instagram who I was going to compete with, and I would try and hype them up as much as possible because I wanted them to feel good and feel confident going into it. They would post a picture and be like, I would tell them, you know, this color looks so good on you, whatever. I would hype them up and I want them to know that they are amazing, and knowing that I can have that effect on someone and that, you know, you have the power to do that nice thing for someone, I think is so, so, so important. And it helped me let go of that expectation of other people, because I took the focus away from myself and put it on to, what can I do? How can I support other people? Because I'm expecting all this, but am I doing that for other people? And now I am probably the most aggressive commenter on all of my friends' Instagrams. And and especially like the creators that I love, I will put high value comments on all of their stuff, because I genuinely know that there are people bringing them down in their comments, and I have the power to combat that by giving them some positivity and some good energy. And I want them to know that there are people that are supporting them. And so If you see me in a comment section, you'll probably see like me hyping somebody up like as much as I possibly can. And like I literally sit on my phone and I'm like, okay, what can I say that's gonna make her genuinely look at this and smile at her phone and help her know that there is somebody, at least one person supporting her. And I think that's something that we can all work on doing, is just, you have the power, just as much power as anybody who's leaving negative comments on a video, to leave a positive one. And the reality is, and I catch myself doing this, and I know you probably do too, I'll be on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, scrolling, and I'll see a video and I'm like, this is weird, or girl, this is not a good opinion, whatever. I have a judgment about somebody, right? We all do. And I'll go to the comment section to find people confirming my judgment. Like, I'll make a judgment about somebody in their video, and I'll go to the comment section to look for people who are thinking the same thing I am, to validate me judging them. And I think that is something that we all do and we need to break. I think that it is so much better to go into social media comment sections with a positive mindset of, I'm going to leave something really amazing that's going to make this person smile. And yeah, those are my 4 biggest lessons of 2024. Share yours with me on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, and I will talk to you later.